English will do, I think.
Which is fine. I
Okay.
mean, we normally have bilingual, trilingual discussions. I mean, Hindi English is very common, so that's
Sure.
perfect.
Good.
No
Good.
problem. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I share this.
Okay. Okay. So, good evening to all, who've been able to join in today. I am hoping that there'll be more people who will join in as we continue moving on, rolling on. I mean, today, Naya Sawera Nayee Umang has the pleasure of hosting Shri S. Gopi Krishna. And I can tell you that, whoever is able to listen into him will certainly benefit from, you know, from his, uh, his discourse today. So basically, he's a mutual fund expert. I'll speak more about his profile as we roll the slides. But I'm hoping a lot more people join. And of course, for those who are not able to join today, we will still be able to make the recording available on the NSNU group, on which we have, I think, close to about 400 people now. I'm afraid this is coming on a Sunday. Unfortunately, I had been traveling and I only returned yesterday, so we couldn't make it on a Saturday. But Saturday is when we choose 5:30 to 6:30 to do, these monthly webinars. So it's my pleasure, Kopiji, to have you as, the speaker for today. And before I ask him to, take on the mic, I'll just do a maybe 5-10 minutes introduction about NSNU, as is normally the ritual in these kind of webinars. So Ajay, we can probably move on to the next screen.
Yes.
So Naya Sawera Nayee Umang, NSNU in short, the tagline for that is Beyond Years, Beyond Boundaries. And we chose this tagline because essentially it is for people of all ages. But having said that, the prime demography that we are trying to uh, serve or engage or empower is the senior citizens, the elders in our community. So which is why it says Beyond Years. And we're not confining this engagement to just India. We are saying that as the years roll by, we would like to, extend our reach to beyond India and try and see as many of the community we can bring it into this platform. So this was established with a profound commitment to further enhance the quality of life for our seniors and creating a collaborative space for professionals of all ages. So we're not limiting it just to the seniors, but inviting people of all ages to join this platform. Very briefly, this is how it started in August of 2023 when I was already 59. And I had moved to India back from overseas assignments to see if there's an opportunity for me to continue being in the social development sector. So I said, let me just try and understand the social development sector better in India. I did have the opportunity to engage with the sector overseas, but not so much in India. So I decided to enroll myself in a social impact course. And while I was doing the course, I was amazed by the expanse of incredible work that several of the grassroots Indian NGOs were doing to solve, as we know, the myriad of social problems that India has had for decades. And that's when I said to myself, and I was inspired to work voluntarily for a cause. Since I was already at the cusp of 60 and in no mood to hang my boots, I mean, my motto is to continue working till the last breath. I thought, what better cause to drive than to drive elderly care and engagement? It has always been my firm belief that 60 plus is one of the most mature demography. They have loads of wisdom and experience and knowledge within them, which has come through several decades of working life. And to retire them suddenly from life would mean injustice to not only them, but then to the larger society as well. And hence was born NSNU, or Naya Sawera Nayee Umang. So just for people who don't know NSNU, after about a year of working on the various contours of launching it, it was eventually launched on August 15th of 2024 this year. And we are like a new NGO with about 4 months into it. So in that first year, when we were still to launch, we researched and we came to the conclusion that while there are several pain points for the elderly, there are four major ones. And this is kind of obvious, I think, to everybody. The first one being that as age, as you age, the deteriorating health does become an issue. We also see an issue around rising inflation costs, and today's uh, discourse or webinar is kind of pivoted around that as to how can one handle rising inflation and rising cost to some matured and intelligent investments. The third one is around increasing dependency, where we see that as people age, they become dependent upon people for small things. I mean, increasingly for the cyber age and the digital age that we live in, and also as families become nuclear, children go away, we also see that loneliness sets in, and there's an issue, there's a huge concern around combating loneliness. So this is what we said to ourselves that we will essentially, based on the pain points that I mentioned in the previous slide, we will do all that we do through focusing on five different pillars. So our pillars would be to look at health and well-being, look at community engagement, uh, address topics like estate and financial planning. Uh,
क्या कह रहा?
Similarly, we said, we look at advocacy and awareness to see if we can do the right kind of awareness creation and advocacy so that issues around elderly care and engagement can be addressed. And then wherever possible, we look at collaborations and support. So essentially what we do every month is we look at doing events. We do one physical event in whichever city we are present. So far, we have only started off Lucknow because we just 3 to 4 months old. But then just to let everybody know, we're launching the Delhi NCR chapter on the 12th of January in the coming month next year. And in every city that we present, we want to do one physical event and one webinar, of course, which is available to people from all cities and around the globe. And then, of course, our other idea is to look at collaborations and partnerships. So wherever we feel that there are like-minded institutions that are available, which can foster or move things around these focus pillars, we would like to stitch together partnerships, whether it's with speakers, whether it's with institutions, or whether it's with communities. And through all of these offerings, we are also looking at increasing our membership base so that people can connect with each other, can benefit from these connections, and also, provide connects to uh, other partnerships that we bring to the table. So it's a ambitious mission, but 6 years down the line, 5 years down the line, this is what we look to be able to achieve. So we've started in Lucknow, and we wish to continue primarily in Lucknow between now and 31st March of 2026. But like I said, we are expanding slowly but steadily into Delhi NCR. The next one could be Kolkata. Uh, I mean, from uh, yeah, it could be Kolkata, uh, And then essentially between now and 2030 is we want to look at expanding into 50 cities and have on board about 100,000 members, people of all ages. And within that, to say that we could look at 50% women, and then look at a few cities globally also. And of course, look at, chalking out, stitching together partnerships. So a minimum of 25 partnerships. A core team is essentially the advisory board, the executive or the governing board. We do have a partnership through a creative lead to handle our social media handles. And then in every city that we go to, we will look to pick a few certified ambassadors, and we're calling the volunteers as community catalysts. So that's like basically the structure of our core team. So this is the executive body or the governing body. And apart from me, we've got Sanjay Govil, who's the Vice President and CEO. We've got Surinder Purwar, who's the treasurer. Sanjay comes with an in-depth knowledge of the development sector. Surinder Purwar is a businessman and uh, is inclined towards looking at development. Manoj Barnwal, who's our general secretary, is a retired captain from the Air Force, and he is also the general secretary for NSNU. Yeah. On the previous slide, we saw three of our executive body who are all in Lucknow. Then we've got Balwinder Ahluwalia, who's the executive member. He's based in Delhi. Ravi is on the call today, and Ravi is the executive member. He's also from Lucknow. He's also a businessman. And then there's Suranjan Kar, who's based out of Kolkata. He has been and he continues to be in the development sector even till today with engagements with other organizations as well. Yeah. So this is an advisory body. We have two stalwarts on the advisory body. Both of them come with several years of experience and continue to be supporting the development sector, not just the engagement through NSNU on the elderly care and engagement, but on several other fronts, whether it's livelihoods or whether it is uh, people with special abilities and several such forays they're supporting. So the Srimati Dina Agarwal, she's on the call today. And there is Onkar Pandey, who's also associated with uh, another organization, like I said, and also with NSNU as an advisor. Yeah. These are some community catalysts. Ajay, as you see, he's already there as a supporter to NSNU, as a community catalyst, as a volunteer. There are a few others from the organization that I have been associated with in my other capacity, and they've all been helping out uh, more often than on supporting NSNU activities. They're all based in Lucknow at the moment. This is a communications partner within which there is Mansi in particular, who's handling our social media channels. Yeah. This is a podcast partner, Ashish Srivastav. He is also based in Lucknow, and basically his podcast, The Good Side, ranks among the top 5 podcasts within the country. Yeah. These are some videos and voices of support. I will not play it in the interest of time, but there's George Smith-Serene, who, for those of you who can attend the Delhi launch, he will be there on one of the panels. There is Diana Shipment, who's the head of volunteering based in the US, and she is basically the head of volunteering for the group that I am associated with in my other capacity. And Kuen Opperman, he was my chief of party and one of the projects that I internationally handled with ACDI VOCA. Yeah. These are some of the past events that we've done so far only in Lucknow, like I said. So these are like photographs from, the inaugural physical event we did in Lucknow. Also the inaugural webinar we did way back in September. This is also some of photographs from the same kind of event. Yeah, previous events. We have also been actively working with old age homes in Lucknow, and we've engaged with quite a few. And essentially, what we've observed is that we could possibly take some of these old age homes to a different level in terms of supporting the caregivers within the old age home who are very dedicated, but they probably need more resources, they need more uh, energy and support. And this is one of the events that we did for the people in the old age home, all of them 85 years and more. And we took them out on a Lucknow Darshan, which allowed them to basically reminisce about what they had seen in Lucknow several years back, their favorite joints in Lucknow. So we took them out, to those spots in Lucknow, and it was a nice outing for them. Half a day is what they could manage. We hired a bus and we took them around different historical places in Lucknow and different eating points in Lucknow. This is within the old age home. They're all old people. And like I said, we are trying to see what we can do in terms of building a bigger proposal and see what we can do in terms of enhancing the care, within these old age homes. Yeah, so with that introduction, I think we should move straight away to the topic for today. So let me just, take the pressure of introducing Gopi ji to everybody. So as Gopi Krishna, Gopi ji, he's a seasoned professional with extensive expertise in the financial sector, particularly in identifying and promoting investment opportunities through mutual funds. With over 30 years of experience in the financial sector, he has dedicated 25 of these years to the mutual fund advisory. As in his current position as the managing partner, the TCP Mutual Funds and Investments, he's demonstrated a proven track record in mutual fund distribution, leveraging market analysis and strategic insights to introduce high-performing schemes to a diverse clientele. Uh, uh, yeah, with a deep understanding of financial products and market dynamics, Gopiji excels in curating tailored investment portfolios that align with individual risk profiles and financial goals. His commitment to delivering exceptional service has positioned himself as a trusted advisor in the investment landscape. So he has a passion for financial growth, and his results-oriented approach have certainly made him a leader in offering dynamic mutual fund solutions and empowering, uh, yeah, empowering. Uh, uh, Sorry, I just trying to mute. Yeah, and empowering clients to achieve their wealth building aspirations effectively. Okay, so with that, I think I'll hand it over to you, Gopiji. I don't want to come between you and people who are listening in. Over to you, Gopiji.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Samiji for the opportunity given me to present myself here. And I'm also in the group of Naya Sawera Nayee Umang. I've been seeing the developments from last 3 to 4 months. Like it's really commendable, I would say. Not taking much of time. Like now, I would like to come for investments. To be कंफर्टेबल होने के लिए मैं हिंदी में पेश करूंगा so that no everybody will be more comfortable. First of all, हम अगर इन्वेस्टमेंट्स के बारे में बात करें, जब भी हम म्यूचुअल फंड्स के बारे में बात करते हैं, लोगों में एक ही चीज होता है कि दे थिंक म्यूचुअल फंड इज अ रिस्क. तो पहले हमें ये समझना होगा कि रिस्क क्या है. जब हमें ये समझ में आ जाए कि रिस्क क्या है, देन वी कैन टेक ए कॉल टू इन्वेस्ट. हमारे यहाँ पे जितने सारे इन्वेस्टमेंट एवेन्यूज हैं, चाहे हम बैंक एफडीज कहें या कॉर्पोरेट एफडीज कहें, बॉन्ड्स कहें, हमें पता है कि दे आर गोइंग टू गिव अ सर्टेन काइंड ऑफ रिटर्न फिक्स्ड इंटरेस्ट रिटर्न होता है, जो कि लाइक नो currently it is around 7.5%, 8%, depending on who is investing. Senior citizen हो तो 8% मिलता है, normally 7.5% मिलता है. लेकिन 7 to 8% is not enough to beat the inflation. We are not getting any real return out of it. इसलिए करना क्या होगा कि वी नीड टू टेक लिटिल बिट ऑफ रिस्क. तो उस रिस्क को पहले हम समझते हैं. व्हेन वी आर इन्वेस्टिंग इन म्यूचुअल फंड, व्हाट इज दैट इज एसेंशियल. पहले तो हम ये समझें कि म्यूचुअल फंड में स्कीम्स ब्रॉडली दो तरह के होते हैं. जैसे इक्विटी स्कीम्स होते हैं, डेट स्कीम्स होते हैं. डेट इज इक्वलेंट टू सेम जो आप बैंक में एफडी कराते हैं या पोस्ट ऑफिस में जो स्कीम्स लेते हैं, वैसे ही रिटर्न देते हैं, लगभग 6 से 7%. इक्विटीज ऑफ कोर्स इट इज मार्केट रिलेटेड. अब मार्केट रिलेटेड मतलब इमीडिएटली दिमाग में जाता है रिस्क. तो पहले हम समझते हैं स्कीम होता क्या है. सपोज एक इक्विटी स्कीम की बात करें. एक इक्विटी स्कीम के अंदर कई सारे स्टॉक्स होते हैं जो इक्विटीज हम कहते हैं. लगभग 40 से लेकर 50 स्टॉक्स होते हैं. ये जो सारे स्कीम्स होते हैं जो इक्विटी रिलेटेड, जैसे स्कीम्स होते हैं लार्ज कैप स्कीम, मिड कैप स्कीम, स्मॉल कैप स्कीम, मल्टी कैप स्कीम. मतलब ये जो मल्टी कैप, लार्ज कैप, मिड कैप, स्मॉल कैप कहते हैं, ये सारे कंपनीज हैं. मतलब जैसे लार्ज कैप कंपनी जो 20,000 करोड़ से ज्यादा जिनकी नेटवर्थ है, वो लार्ज कैप कंपनीज हैं. जो 5,000 करोड़ से 20,000 करोड़ तक हैं, वो मिड कैप कंपनीज हैं. जो 5,000 करोड़ से नीचे हैं, दे आर नोन एज स्मॉल कैप कंपनीज. अब इन सब कंपनियों के लिए, हर तरह की कंपनियों के लिए अलग अलग इंडेक्स बने हैं. जैसे हम इंडेक्स बोलते हैं बीएससी, एक बीएससी सेंसेक्स होता है, वो एक इंडेक्स होता है. एनएससी. सिमिलरली ये सारे स्टॉक्स के लिए अलग अलग इंडेक्सेस हैं. जब भी हम म्यूचुअल फंड में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, सपोज हम किसी एक XYZ मिड कैप फंड में हम इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, तो वो क्या करता है, वो स्कीम वो मिड कैप इंडेक्स को ही फॉलो करता है. मतलब उस इंडेक्स के अंडर जो स्टॉक्स हैं सिर्फ उन्हीं को केवल उसमें रखता है. अब कई लोगों में ये होता है कि मार्केट में इन्वेस्ट करने से रिस्क होता है, ये हम कहते हैं. मैं उस एंगल से नहीं देखता. मैं ये देख रहा हूं कि टोटल हम बीएससी एंड एनएससी को देखें. चलो बीएससी का देखते हैं. बीएससी में कितने स्टॉक्स हैं? देयर आर अराउंड 5,600 स्टॉक्स व्हिच आर लिस्टेड इन बीएससी. ठीक है. अगर हम म्यूचुअल फंड को देखें, वो कितने में अलाउड हैं इन्वेस्ट करने के लिए? सपोज लार्ज कैप स्टॉक्स की मानते हैं, तो सेबी ने ये गाइडलाइन फिक्स कर रखा है कि यू कैन इन्वेस्ट इन टॉप 100 कंपनीज, उससे बियॉन्ड नहीं. तो टॉप 100 कंपनीज में लार्ज कैप इन्वेस्ट करेंगे. जब मिड कैप की बात आती है, तो ये कहते हैं कि टॉप 250 कंपनीज में आप इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं. हो गया. जब ये स्मॉल कैप की बात आती है, तो नेक्स्ट 750 कंपनीज में. सो पुट टुगेदर हमारे पास केवल 1100 या 1200 कंपनी हैं जिनमें हम इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं. बट अब जब हम स्टॉक मार्केट को देखते हैं, वहां पे 5,600 स्टॉक्स हैं. तो ऑब्वियसली ये जो 1100 और 1200 स्टॉक्स जो म्यूचुअल फंड इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, वो फिल्टर्ड होते हैं, जो कि फंड मैनेजर जो मैनेज करता है स्कीम को, वो सिलेक्ट करता है along with his team of people. ये जो स्कीम्स, ये जो स्टॉक्स होते हैं, मोस्टली वो मतलब हम मान के चलते हैं ये अच्छे होते हैं क्योंकि उस इंडेक्स में ये सबसे बेहतर स्टॉक्स होते हैं. फॉर एन एग्जाम्पल, अगर मैं यहाँ पे आपको बताऊं कि रिस्क की जो प्रोफाइल हम कहते हैं, जैसे फॉर एन एग्जाम्पल स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया की शेयर हम बात करें, इट्स अ लार्ज कैप. अगर आपको स्टॉक के बारे में पता नहीं है, अगर मैं कहता हूं कि विल यू इन्वेस्ट इन स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया शेयर्स, आप बोलोगे नहीं नहीं भाई, स्टॉक में क्यों इन्वेस्ट करना है. अगर मुझे कोई पूछे कि विल यू इन्वेस्ट इन स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया शेयर्स, मैं कहूंगा व्हाई नॉट. रीजन क्यों है व्हाई नॉट? रीजन ये है कि अगर हम स्टेट बैंक को देखें, स्टेट बैंक केम इनटू एग्जिस्टेंस इन 1955. फ्रॉम 1955 टिल डेट 2024 तक हर साल ये ग्रो कर रहे हैं. हाउ डज इट ग्रो? इट्स ग्रोथ इज इक्वलेंट टू जैसे जीडीपी जैसे हमारा ग्रोथ होता है, एवरेज हम मान के चलते हैं जैसे 7-8% की ग्रोथ होता है, ग्रोथ उतना चलता ही है, तभी जाके आज वो 1955 से आज यहां तक पहुंचे, और ये आगे ऐसे ही ग्रो करते रहेंगे। इनकी रिटर्न की बात करें, आप जीडीपी 7-8% मान लो, और इन्फ्लेशन जो एवरेज चलता है 5-6%, दोनों को ऐड कर दो, लगभग 13% के आसपास ही रिटर्न देते हैं। बट ये रिटर्न जो है ये नॉट ईयर ऑन ईयर बेसिस। आज हमने एसबीआई का शेयर खरीदा, एग्जैक्टली 365 दिन बाद मुझे 13% मिलेंगे, कोई गारंटी नहीं है। बट वेन यू गिव देम टाइम, say 3 year, 5 year, you will find out definitely they have given 13 to 15%. Same thing is applicable to mutual fund. When you buy an equity scheme, अगर अच्छे स्कीम है, just buy it and give it time, 3 to 5 years. You will always find the returns are around 12 to 15%. ये आज से नहीं, मैं पिछले 25 साल 26 साल, this is 26th year I have been seeing. मोस्टली हम ये करते हैं कि म्यूचुअल फंड इन्वेस्टमेंट में हम जो इन्वेस्टमेंट्स को क्या प्लान करते हैं कि गोल बेस्ड इन्वेस्टमेंट, आदमी की जो रिक्वायरमेंट है उसी हिसाब से हम इन्वेस्ट करते हैं। सपोज मुझे जैसे ये आइडिया दिया गया, यहाँ पे ज्यादातर लोग रिटायरमेंट है, रिटायरमेंट में डे वन में अगर आप इन्वेस्ट करें और ये सोचे कि मुझे अगले साल से या अगले महीने से रिटर्न आना शुरू हो जाए, तो ये पॉसिबल नहीं। इनिशियली अगर किसी के पास टाइम फ्रेम है एटलीस्ट 3 years का, देन वी कैन जनरेट अ रेगुलर काइंड ऑफ इनकम। इसको समझाने के लिए मैं एक एग्जांपल दे दूंगा, फिर आपको समझ में आएगा। ऐसे बहुत सारे हैं, दीज आर ऑल लाइव इन्वेस्टमेंट्स, दीज आर नॉट एग्जांपल्स व्हिच आई एम सेइंग per se. For an example, there is a lady teacher like who came and met me in 2005. Now she said no, she'll be retiring in 2010. Of course she had 10 years time, उनके पास 10 साल का टाइम था। मैं इसको ये कहता हूँ कि इवन 3 साल से भी ये चीजें इंप्लीमेंट हो सकती है। तो 10 साल बाद वो जब मेरे पास आई और उन्होंने ये कहा कि मैंने जो इन्वेस्टमेंट किया था व्हाट इज द वैल्यू, मैंने उनको ये बताया कि जो 5 लाख का इन्वेस्टमेंट था वो 20,30,000 हो गया है। दैट्स नॉट ए बिग डील। सी 5 लाख को अगर आपको 15.85% के हिसाब से ग्रो कर रहा है, तो 5 लाख डबल्स इन 5 ईयर, 10 लाख हो गया, फिर अगले 10 साल में फिर डबल हो गया, सो 20,30,000। नाउ व्हाट आई डिड फॉर देम, 20,30,000 सिंस आई नो 10 साल से कंपाउंडिंग चल रहा है, मतलब 15.85 में जो रीजनेबल रिटर्न है विच इज अराउंड 9%। तो मैंने उनको ये कहा कि 20,30,000 का जो 9% बनता है सालाना, उसको हम डिवाइड कर देते हैं 12 में, हर महीना आपके अकाउंट में 15,000 रुपए आ जाएंगे 1 तारीख को। ठीक है। नाउ सी वाज लाइक नो सी स्टार्टेड गेटिंग 15,000 एवरी मंथ। मैंने उनको ये कहा कि वी विल मीट आफ्टर 10 years, आप लेते रहो, क्योंकि मुझे ये पता है कि इनके इन्वेस्टमेंट जो है 15.85 में चल रहा है। मैं अगर 9% विड्रॉ करूंगा तो 6% एक बफर बचता है विच विल हेल्प द कैपिटल टू ग्रो। जो 20,30,000 है दैट विल कीप ऑन ग्रोइंग इन फ्यूचर। तो हमने ये उसमें चालू कर दिया 15,000 का। दिस कंटिन्यूड फॉर 7 years। 7 साल बाद जब मैंने उनको बुलाया कि देयर वाज सम केवाईसी इशू, आप आ जाओ हम जरा उसको रिजॉल्व करते हैं, तब मैंने उनको ये कहा कि आपकी जो वैल्यू था 20,30,000, नाउ इट हैज ग्रोन टू 27,80,000। तो मैंने अब ये कहा कि इंस्टेड ऑफ 15,000 आई विल मेक इट टू 20,000 नाउ। ठीक है। फिर आगे ये जैसे ही ये क्रॉस करेगा 34 लाख, आई विल मेक इट 30,000। सो आई स्टार्टेड डूइंग, ये धीरे धीरे करते करते आज उनको उसी 5 लाख का इन्वेस्टमेंट हर महीना 30,000 रुपए दे रहा है। टिल द डे दे आर लिविंग इन दिस अर्थ, दिस मनी विल फ्लो इनटू देयर अकाउंट। और बाकी जो पैसा है, जो कैपिटल है, दे कैन गिव इट टू देयर लाइक नो, इसको आप जो उनके नॉमिनीज हैं आगे, इनहेरिटेंस, उनको दे सकते हैं। तो सिमिलर थिंग अगर हम किसी के लिए प्लान करें, एटलीस्ट 3 साल की टाइम फ्रेम जरूरत है म्यूचुअल फंड में। सो इट्स ए गेम, इट्स लाइक नो हाउ मच टाइम यू आर विलिंग टू गिव फॉर योर इन्वेस्टमेंट्स, दैट्स हाउ इट इज। इसमें कई सारी चीजें प्लान हो सकती हैं, जैसे रिटायरमेंट प्लानिंग। अगर कोई यंगर हैं थोड़े बहुत, जिनके पास 10 10 साल 15 साल अभी टाइम है, मतलब रिटायरमेंट होने के लिए, वो लोग भी प्लान कर सकते हैं। वो इन्वेस्ट करके एक किटी क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, छोटे छोटे अमाउंट्स एसआईपी के थ्रू। एसआईपी इट्स अ प्रोसेस ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट, सिस्टमेटिक इन्वेस्टमेंट प्लान। कोई अलग नहीं है, जिनके पास लमसम अमाउंट है वो इकट्ठे एक बार में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, जिनके पास रेगुलर कैश फ्लो है, चाहे वो बिजनेसमैन हो चाहे वो सैलरीड एम्प्लॉय हो, दे कीप ऑन इन्वेस्टिंग एवरी मंथ। तो ये धीरे धीरे करके आप अपना एसेट क्रिएट कर सकते हैं। जैसे एसेट क्रिएट हो जाता है, जिस दिन आप डिसाइड करेंगे नहीं अब मुझे काम नहीं करना है, मुझे एंजॉय करना है अपना लाइफ, आपकी जो टारगेट है उसी हिसाब से अगर आपने एसेट वो क्रिएट कर दिया, देन यू कैन वर्चुअली रिटायर फॉर योर लाइफ, यू कैन एंजॉय दैट मनी। दैट इज हाउ थिंग्स आर बीइंग प्लान्ड। इस चीज को हम हर चीज में फिट करते हैं, चाहे वो बच्चों के एजुकेशन हो, चाहे बच्चों की मैरिज हो, चाहे वो रिटायरमेंट प्लानिंग हो, चाहे आपको कहीं विदेश घूमने जाना हो, चाहे वो गाड़ी खरीदनी हो, हर चीज में ये फिट हो सकता है। समझिए, दैट्स इट। आगे कोई क्वेश्चन है तो मैं आई वुड
No,
लव
no,
टू
this
टेक।
is wonderful, Gopi ji. I'm sure, even though we have a small audience being Sunday today, I'm sure there'll be questions in other people's mind. But one question that I have is
हाँ,
that you mentioned that, essentially it's a game of time.
यस,
I'm sure it's not as simple as that. I'm sure uh, you help people in selecting the right category or the right kind of
यस।
mutual funds, because clearly in the market, like there are so many mutual funds. So one is I would like you to maybe highlight on that or speak about that uh, portion of selection. I mean,
Yeah,
uh,
that is there. Like, no, if I see Indian mutual fund industry, there are 48 companies and more than 2,500 schemes are there. In each and every category, there are around 30, 40 schemes. So identifying the scheme, that obviously it comes to me. I identify on my experience. See, when you identify a scheme, start investing, there is a goal to it. If that goal is 10 years down the line and you realize you have chosen a wrong scheme after 10 years, then it's a loss to you. That
absolutely.
is,
Absolutely. Yeah. That's my worry. I mean, for people who are elderly and who have a pot of savings, but then that's a very, very precious pot. I mean, whether it is, a small pot or it's a big pot, that's immaterial. But once you've, kind of retired or hung your boots, whatever you saved is what you've saved, for your life from
yes,
there on. And we know that, longevity is something that we are all living with.
yes,
I mean, there are good and bad things about longevity, but I mean, just to enjoy a good life post your retirement, you need to be very careful with one's savings and where you're investing.
yes.
So,
There's a question
uh,
coming up.
yeah, there's a
Someone,
question, I think, from Arunji.
Arun,
Arunji, from,
Arun ji.
please बोलिए.
ये पोर्टफोलियो बनाना इक्विटी एंड डेप्थ दोनों का वो बेटर
हाँ,
है.
हेलो।
हाँ, यू शुड मेक ए पोर्टफोलियो ऑफ
हाँ, हाँ।
इक्विटी एंड डेप्थ.
सी, मैं जितने सालों से देख रहा हूँ, 25-26 साल से, ठीक है, लोग कहने के लिए कहते हैं इक्विटी एंड डेट। डेट जो है वो शॉर्ट रन के लिए है। जैसे आपको 1 साल, 2 साल, 3 साल के टाइम फ्रेम में जो अमाउंट चाहिए, दैट हैज टू बी इन डेट। लॉन्ग रन की बात करें, अगर कोई भी चीज आप प्लान कर रहे हैं, दैट हैज टू गो इनटू इक्विटी। इक्विटी हमेशा अच्छा रिटर्न देता है ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम।
दैट इज राइट, बट इक्विटी इज वोलाटाइल, सो
नो, नो,
इट विल
दैट
गिव
इज, आई
स्टेबिलिटी.
आई
इफ
सेड
यू
नो, इक्विटी इज
इफ यू
वोलेटाइल।
कीप say 30% or 40% debt and
हाँ,
60% equity.
हाँ। No, no, I said equity is volatile, but provided you keep it for long time. Long time means at least 3 to 5 years. फिर होता यह है, अरुण जी देखिए, मैं ये देखता हूँ कि सपोज आपने 3 साल या 5 साल इन्वेस्ट किया, मार्केट चाहे कितने भी वोलेटाइल रहे, अगर आपने अच्छे स्कीम सेलेक्ट किए हैं, at the end of third year or a fourth year or a fifth year, you will definitely see your portfolio is going to give you around 12 to 15% of return. वो जो रिटर्न बन जाता है ना, it is not 1 year रिटर्न, it is a compounding return of 5 years. तो एक एक छोटी सी चीज मैं यहाँ पे बताना चाहता हूँ, जो लॉन्ग टर्म में लोग इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, सपोज आपने आपने इन्वेस्ट किया हुआ है, 5 साल 6 साल हो गया है, उसमें कंपाउंडिंग रिटर्न 15-16%, 20% चल रहा है, देयर इज ए करेक्शन इन मार्केट ऑफ 10%, कल मार्केट 10% करेक्शन हो जाता है, तो आपका जो 16% है वो 5 साल का कंपाउंडिंग है, उसमें कितना डेंट आता है? इट इज हार्डली, अगर मैं उसका 10% लेके चलूं,
खुद से कह रहा है तो पेमेंट करने दो,
दैट इज अराउंड 1.5% होता है उसका 10%, लेकिन 1.5% तक भी नहीं जाता, केवल 1% ही जाता है, तो आपका पोर्टफोलियो में जो सीएजीआर है वो दैट नेवर ड्रॉप्स डाउन बियॉन्ड 15। ये चीज, ये कमाल चीज, ये लोगों को कोई नहीं समझाता। ठीक है, आगे अरुण जी पूछिए। हेलो।
Hello.
हाँ अरुण जी।
You are right. But to keep stability, if part of it is in senior citizen saving
हाँ,
scheme or
सीनियर,
government schemes,
यस,
there is no harm.
नहीं, दैट्स लाइक फॉर सीनियर सिटीजन आई एम सेइंग, थोड़ा बहुत डेट में रखना चाहिए, लेकिन पीपल सीनियर सिटीजन स्कीम में भी रखते हैं। एक लेकिन मैं ये कहता हूं कि सीनियर सिटीजन होने के बावजूद भी एक सर्टेन परसेंटेज यू शुड इन्वेस्ट इन इक्विटी, सो दैट विल हेल्प योर कैपिटल टू इंक्रीज।
That is right. You are right. But after retirement, some part should be in both.
हाँ,
If you keep 100% in equity, it is a
नहीं
little
नहीं
risky.
अरुण जी, और एक चीज मैं क्लियर कर देता हूँ, लोग क्या करते हैं, सपोज कई सारे सीनियर सिटीजन, जैसे सीनियर सिटीजन स्कीम्स मिलते हैं, ठीक है, बैंक्स में भी हैं, पोस्ट ऑफिस में है, विच गिव्स अराउंड 9% ऑफ रिटर्न, उसमें करते हैं, सो वो है डेट। बैंक में आपका एफडी है, वो है डेट। आपके रेंटल इनकम आ रहा है, वो भी है डेट। तो जब आप म्यूचुअल फंड में, सपोज आपके पास 10 लाख रुपए हैं, तो उसको डिवाइड करने की जरूरत, आप सारी चीजों को देखिए, मेरे पास सामने कितना है, जैसे मैंने पोस्ट ऑफिस में 15 लाख रुपए रखा है सीनियर सिटीजन में, ठीक है, मैंने यहाँ पे 10 लाख कर रखा है, मैं अभी सिर्फ 10 लाख म्यूचुअल फंड में करने जा रहा हूं, सो 10 को डिवाइड करने की जरूरत नहीं है, यू शुड टेक एवरीथिंग एज इन्वेस्टमेंट, और उसमें से आप सोचिए मेरा परसेंटेज कितना गया इक्विटी में। दैट्स
Uh,
दैट्स हाउ आई
uh,
सी।
yeah, Gopi ji and Arun ji, we had a chartered accountant from Lucknow,
हाँ हाँ,
uh, about two webinars back. Yeah, I mean, I think it was November itself.
yeah,
So there was somebody who he had called, from Tata, I think mutual fund.
हाँ हाँ,
And one of the good formulas that I heard from him, I don't know, I quite like that formula because I was telling him about my daughter who's only 26 years.
your age,
And I'm
and
like,
that's what.
yeah, and I'm 60. So he said, like, if you're 26, then you should probably do 26% in debt and the balance 73% in equity.
नो, दीज आर नॉट लाइक, नो, आई वुड ऑलवेज से ये बुकिश हैं हमेशा, मतलब मैं हमेशा ये मान, आपने सपोज फॉर एन एग्जांपल समय जी मैं बताता हूँ, आपने बैंक में एफडी किया 40 लाख का,
Yeah,
आपके घर बनाया जिससे रेंटल आ रहे हैं आपको 40,000 रुपए, दे आर ऑल डेट ओनली, नो।
yeah,
सो जब मैं
yeah,
म्यूचुअल फंड में 30 लाख इन्वेस्ट करना जाऊं, मैं एज बोलूंगा 60 मेरा एज है, 40% रखूंगा इक्विटी, 60 डेट में, दैट्स नॉट द लॉजिक, नो।
yeah. No, no. I mean, so you have to look at your total 100%
टोटल,
of investments.
टोटल,
Usme we can look at how much is debt, and debt is not only FDs, but it's FDs plus properties
यस,
plus
जहां पे
other
आपको
investments.
फिक्स्ड
Uh,
रिटर्न्स आते हैं, दे आर
but
कॉल्ड
it's
डेट।
fixed returns, but it is risk-free year after year.
यस,
And you're saying mutual funds is also risk-free as long as you are investing in that over time.
ओवर
Yeah.
टाइम, यस,
Actually,
दैट्स हाउ इट इज।
for properties, the way it is, I don't know. I mean, in the past, properties were escalating and escalating and escalating, but probably we are now seeing that there's a slump in property.
इट इज
So you
स्टैग्नेंट।
cannot, yeah, so you cannot consider it as risk-free investment anymore, I think. I mean, or
हाँ,
rather, you cannot consider it as something which can continue to appreciate,
नो नो,
year after year. You don't know
आई
which way it will go.
एम सेइंग
Yeah.
पीपल दोज हु हैव ऑलरेडी इन्वेस्टेड एंड दे आर डिपेंडेंट ऑन द रेंटल इनकम ऑफ दोज प्रॉपर्टीज,
Yes,
दैट कैश फ्लो आई एम सेइंग।
for them it's like a debt. For them it's like a cash flow. So
यस,
if you have one or two properties and you continue to get rent month after month, it
हाँ,
helps you when you are elderly and when you're
यस,
retired. And similar thing could also be done through mutual funds, but then you have to
यस,
give it a time
कैन
frame of
लिटिल
three
टाइम
to
फ्रेम।
five years. You have
हाँ,
to give it a time frame of 3 to 5 years.
इससे ये फायदा होता है, लाइक नो व्हाट आई हैव सीन ओवर दीज इयर्स, a part of the money, like for senior citizens, if they go into equity, then that helps their portfolio, जो liquid portfolio है उसको बढ़ा देता है, So in future, no, 3 year, 5 year down the line, your cash flow will increase.
Okay, one other thing I would like to ask, because essentially, while we are only a few on the webinar today, but on the group we have many elderly, and just like any other elderly, one thing that would come to my mind is how liquid is this mutual fund? I mean, while somebody would say, ki, chalo, let's invest it for the next 5 years, everything is going to go well, but suddenly kuch unforeseen circumstances ho gaya, suddenly kuch cash ki zarurat hai. So how liquid is it? And if you liquidate it, I mean, what are the chances that you will lose, a large part of your investment, or what's the downside?
See, it is highly liquid. Earlier, it used to be around 72 hours. Now they have the liquidity. Now they have made it to 48 hours. So absolutely liquid, I can say. You just give the redemption today, and within 48 hours, the money comes into a bank account. The only thing is you will get that day's price. The day you have put this redemption. इसमें होता क्या है कि जब आप टाइम फ्रेम की बात करते हैं, when you talk about 3 year, 5 year, I don't see any like no volatility will be there in the market, but you will get a good return.
Yeah. I mean, can you give some examples of volatility that you've seen over the last 25 years, and how have people benefited in spite of the volatility because they've continued to stay invested?
Like no, I would say there was a situation I started in 99. Of course, that point of time market was too low. See, if you look at the market in 2008, now people, those who have invested, let me take you to 2004. 2004, somebody came and invested 3,40,000. Like it may be relevant or irrelevant at this stage. He said he has a kid, 2 year old. He wanted to make some investment. That was around 3,40,000. अब उन्होंने कहा 3,40,000 है, मुझे थोड़ा बहुत इन्वेस्ट करना है. मैंने कहा थोड़ा बहुत क्यों, व्हाट इज द रीजन? तो उन्होंने कहा कि थोड़ा बहुत कर दूंगा तो आगे बच्ची के मैरिज में काम आ जाएगा. मैंने कहा why not you invest the whole money so that no, her marriage will be done by the time she reaches 25. So 2 दिन सोचने के बाद he came and invested the entire 3,40,000. अब कम 2008 में market was crashed. So he called me up कि मार्केट अभी क्रैश हो गई है एंड 2004 में जो मैंने इन्वेस्ट किया था, दिस इज द वैल्यू. I took him like, no, what was the purpose of this investment? I asked him. This money is meant for daughter's marriage. And I like, no, I told you that we will be waiting till the age of 25 so that we get a return इसमें. तो ये हुआ कि 2004 से जब ये 2009 आया, मार्केट रिकवर भी कर गया 2008 के बाद, एंड द वैल्यू वाज कोटिंग अराउंड 7,60,000. उन्होंने कहा कि मुझे थोड़ा बहुत विड्रॉ करना है. तो मैंने कहा कि नहीं नहीं, ये दिस इज मेंट ओनली फॉर योर डॉटर. जब आप उसकी मैरिज हो जाए तब आप विड्रॉ करना. अगेन इट कंटिन्यूड. 2015 27 लाख. नाउ ही सेड मेरे यार दोस्त हर कोई कह रहे हैं म्यूचुअल फंड वोलेटाइल होता है, मुझे 10 लाख निकालना है. मैंने कहा वेयर इज द मैरिज कार्ड, अब मुझे बताओ. नहीं नहीं, बच्ची तो अभी 13 साल की, मैं कैसे कर सकता हूँ. मैंने कहा चल 25 जब हो तब हम विड्रॉ करेंगे. टुडे द किड इज 20 year old. वैल्यू इज 98,70,000. By the time she will be 25, this money will be 1.4 crore. No magic, only 16%. And it will never go down. चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए. अभी पीछे 1-1.5 महीने में भी there was a correction of around 14%. Nothing happened to his portfolio. Still he is sitting on 98 lakhs. See, you need to realize कि मैं जितना लंबा टर्म रहता हूं उतना कंपाउंडिंग बेनिफिट मुझे मिलता है. That's how it is.
Yeah, no, that's a great example. Yeah, I mean, Arunji, you still want to ask something?
No.
Okay. No, because you have your hand raised. Maybe that's still, from the old question that you asked. Okay, anybody else? Any other question from anybody else? Feel free to unmute yourself and ask. Hindi, English, जिसमें भी पूछना है.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah. It's about
Yeah, hi, Diksha.
when we are talking about equity mutual funds, there are two things when we look at the graphs. One is the NAV value, and the other is the value of what you call that. There is some other graph which we talk about value of the profitability, but that I understand is for the mutual fund. So as far as the investor is concerned, which of the two values are to be taken into account? I understand it should be the NAV value, right?
Yes. For investor, it is the NAV. Like no NAV, like no, when initially you invest, you get units on that particular day's NAV. So the more the NAV grows, it gives return, it adds to your portfolio, to your value.
So that, there is a big discrepancy between the value or the profitability graph and the NAV graph.
No,
Where
yes.
does that, where does, if you look at the profitability graph of there is the fund manager is managing some 100 rupees, and
Mm-hmm.
from that 100 rupees it has grown to 400 rupees or 500 rupees, but
Mm-hmm.
your NAV will
Mm.
grow only 100 to 10 rupees or 200 rupees. So there is a discrepancy between that 300 and 200.
नो नो अगर आप इसका वो टेक्निकल्स देखें, होता ये है कि एक स्कीम की बात करते हैं. लेट मी एक्सप्लेन यू अ स्कीम. सपोज
Yes.
फॉर एन एग्जांपल XYZ स्कीम, इट हैज 40 स्टॉक्स. ठीक है. 40 स्टॉक्स की आज की डेट की वैल्यू जो होगी, ठीक है, वो है एट द एंड ऑफ द डे जो करंट वैल्यू बन जाता है, जो फंड मैनेजमेंट की जो चार्जेस होता है वो डिडक्ट करने के बाद डिवाइड बाय द नंबर ऑफ यूनिट्स, तो जो वैल्यू बनता है वो NAV कोट करता है एंड ऑफ द डे जो भी होता है. दिस कीप्स ऑन हैपनिंग एवरी डे बेसिस. ये मतलब हर दिन, हर इवनिंग को, जैसे मार्केट बंद होता है 6-7 बजे तक NAV डिक्लेयर होता है उसी फंड का. तो वो अपना जो, जैसे फंड मैनेजमेंट चार्जेस मैं कहता हूं, कोई स्कीम का जैसे है 0.80 है, कोई स्कीम का जैसे 1% है, कोई स्कीम्स का है जैसे 1.2% है. वो जो वैल्यू ग्रोथ हुआ है उस पे 1.2% वो चार्ज करके दे डिवाइड इट इनटू 365 डेज. तो उस पर्टिकुलर डे का जितना होता है उतना माइनस होता है. तो वो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. अगर मुझे कोई फंड मुझे 15%, 12%, 16%, 17% देता है, व्हाट डिफरेंस विल इट मेक दैट. वो फंड मैनेजमेंट चार्जेस से, जैसे हम एक प्रोफेशनल के पास जाते हैं, कोई चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट के पास जाते हैं, कोई वकील के पास जाते हैं, वी पे द फी. Similarly, somebody is managing your funds and he is generating profits for you. तो we are paying a charge to him. तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है उसमें.
That is correct. But what is that? It is just that 1.2% or
That's it.
0.8% divided by 365. What is that 365 which you talked about?
365 days, 365
Yeah.
days होता है ना. तो हर
हाँ.
दिन का वो चार्ज लेते, इकट्ठे नहीं लेते. That 0.8
Okay.
or 0.1, 0.25.
So if today morning the value of the fund was say 100, today evening at 7 p.m. it becomes 110. So he will be charging 1.2% on that 10 rupees.
On that 10 rupees, 10 rupees, 1.2 divided by 365 into 10. Divided by 10.
Okay.
So per day is
Okay.
whatever.
Okay.
Not for the whole year.
Not for the whole year. Okay. That was the technical clarity. It was a mystery for us, for most
Okay.
of us, I understand.
No, thanks, Piyush, for asking that question. I mean, this is also a learning for me. I mean, I always knew that, there is a very minuscule, very small fund manager's charge, which is not affecting the overall return of 12 to 15%. But it's even smaller, like on a daily basis when it's divided by 365.
That's how it is being charged to the scheme.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody else with any other question? Okay. Since there's no other question, Gopi ji, what I would like to do is to really thank you from the bottom of my heart for providing us with this insight about mutual funds. I know time is limited. Within that, I think you've done a great service by providing some good examples, life examples, both for people who started early, like the one who started for his kid, to set a goal for collecting a pot for her marriage. And similarly for the lady teacher who said, let's plan for her, who decided to plan through mutual funds for her retirement. I think those are two clear examples of how, wise investment can lead to a better life, both for people starting early as well as for people starting late. I mean, it's never too late, I think, to start with the right investment. And I mean, unless you have some closing words, is there anything that you would say in your closing? But of course,
I
thanks from everybody's side. Yeah.
I would like to say everyone, like, no, they should encourage their children or the younger generation to invest. That is how, like, no, they will be like completely free from all this. Like once they create a asset base for themselves through investments, they won't be dependent on, like, no, a job or something. Like, no, that money will start giving them return. That is the beauty of investment.
Yeah.
The only
No,
thing
I
this
remember.
can, huh,
No, you're right. I mean, Gopiji, when I started off, I mean, I'm probably as young as you are, but when I started off, my career 40 years back, I think we only had the stock market was just about beginning to come up, and then Harshad Mehta happened, 1992, and I mean, many years later there was a movie around him, but then there was a lot of skepticism at that time whether we should invest in the stock market or not. But between then and now, the people who are like they're in their 20s and early 30s, I think they have a lot more opportunity and wisdom to ensure that they can actually start investing early, whether it's through mutual funds or whether it is through other opportunities, so that they can become kind of financial, they can
independent.
independent, yeah, at a young age. They may still continue to work. I mean, that again depends on everybody's choice, but at least, gain that financial freedom and be able to dictate and do things as per their wish. I mean, so I think, yeah, that's a good message to leave, at least, to the younger folks. Yeah.
I have a small question.
Yes.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Is it advisable to stay with one mutual fund, or shall we keep buying and selling the mutual fund itself? Move from one sector to the other sector, from
Good
small
question.
caps to large caps to
Good question.
गुड
sectorial fund.
क्वेश्चन गुड क्वेश्चन सी आई वुड से लाइक नो जैसे म्यूचुअल फंड की हम बात करें मैंने बताया था कि देयर आर 48 कंपनीज नाउ ऑल दिस 48 कंपनीज देयर आर 2500 स्कीम्स होता यह है कि जैसे आप मार्केट में प्रोडक्ट खरीदने चाहते हैं कॉन्सेप्ट सेलिंग कहते हैं तो अगर मैं ब्रॉडली कैटेगराइज करूं स्मॉल कैप फंड लार्ज कैप कम मिड कैप फंड मल्टी कैप फंड वो क्या करेंगे कई सारे नाम दे देंगे फ्लेक्सी कैप आ गया अब वो आ गया why these companies they come with these schemes because they want to take fresh money from people लोगों को ये कहेंगे कि आप इसमें से निकालो और इसमें डालो अगर ब्रॉडली कैटेगराइज करो आपने सपोज मिड कैप लिया है एक पर्टिकुलर कंपनी का स्टिक करो उसी में अच्छी कंपनी में एंड इट विल स्टार्ट गिविंग यू रिटर्न ओवर अ पीरियड नथिंग टू मूव अहेड फ्रॉम हियर टू देयर नॉट एट ऑल एडवाइजेबल तो
And
आपने
the
एक
sectoral fund? And the
Pardon?
sectoral fund? Sectoral funds?
Sectoral at this age, I will never say. I would always advise a youngster to buy into sectoral, not to the people, those who are at least 55 or 60. They're highly volatile in nature.
Okay, okay.
All funds
Okay.
are two versions: direct fund and regular fund.
Yes. हाँ हाँ
So direct fund gives better return.
हाँ ये बताता हूँ होता क्या है कि डायरेक्ट और रेगुलर में डिफरेंस क्या है डायरेक्ट में आपको गाइड करने वाला कोई नहीं है जैसे अखबार में आता है कि जैसे स्टॉक्स के बारे में पढ़ते हैं एक लिस्ट आ जाता है ये टॉप स्कीम्स हैं आप खुद से बाई करो सो यू सेव अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ परसेंटेज लोगों में ये भी कंफ्यूजन है कि ये कहा गया है कि डायरेक्ट में कोई चार्जेस नहीं होते डायरेक्ट में भी चार्जेस होते हैं और जो रेगुलर फंड होते हैं उसमें उससे थोड़ा हायर चार्जेस होते हैं फॉर एन एग्जाम्पल कोई एक रेगुलर फंड 1.2% चार्ज करता है तो डायरेक्ट फंड वहां पे 70 पैसा या 80 पैसा चार्ज करता है तो ये जो जो 30-40 पैसे का जो डिफरेंस होता है आपके पास जो एक एडवाइजर है ही टेक्स ऑल द पेन टू सिलेक्ट द स्कीम फॉर यू एंड पीरियोडिकली आपको गाइड करता है आपका चाहे मतलब कोई भी उसमें जैसे डॉक्यूमेंटेशन हुआ या ये सब करता रहता है. That is how that is the main difference between a regular and a direct.
Thank you very much. I think 30 minutes of your talk is certainly not enough, Gopiji. But one thing I can just reveal for everybody is that on 12th of January, when we are having the Delhi NCR launch, we have Gopiji again as one of the panel members of one of the sessions around financial and digital literacy. And we can, have more time to get more insights and intellect from his side on that particular day. This one is happening at India Habitat Center in Delhi. We will send out more detailed agenda on the group again, but just so that you know that he's again available on the 12th of January. So thank you very much, Gopiji, and
Thank you.
thank you everybody for joining.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a good Sunday. Have a
Thank
good
you.
evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.